Good afternoon. Can we all please rise for the staff procession?
May we please give them a round of applause. Good afternoon, and please be seated. May we please all begin by taking a moment to ensure that our phones are either muted or switched off. Thank you.
Over the past year, we have been reminded by, amongst others, our own Dr. V, that we need to step out of the boat to experience the miracle. 2021 was not smooth sailing. The ongoing challenges of social distancing, online learning, and the constant uncertainty forced us once again to test our comfort zones and navigate our course with refined attention. This has required true grit and resilience from our staff, pupils, and parents. Together as a family, we have charted new waters and begun to glimpse the safe harbor of a redefined sense of broadened community. We would like to invite Mr. Strachan, Chairperson of the Council, to come forward for the welcome.
Thank you very much. A very warm Makanda welcome to pupils, parents, friends and family, wherever you may be, possibly any one of the 15 countries where Kingswoodians come from. Special welcome to our guest of honor, Mr. Jonathan Goldberg and his wife, Linda. The college head, Dr. Colleen Vasilio. The junior school head, Mr. James Huff. The senior school heads, Ms. Tracy van Mullendorf and Mr. David Wright. The head of the Msambe BY program, Mr. William Banyana. In addition, I extend a warm welcome to the president of the OK Club and official college trustee, Mr. Colin Stirk, and the vice chair of the College Council, Mrs. Cassentry Govender. Welcome to this, our 2021 prize giving, the pinnacle of our academic year. The frightening pace at which this year has passed is outstanding, no doubt no more so than for the class of our matric trial class of 2021. Like your predecessors last year, you have needed to navigate a year of uncertainty, much disruption, and so different to what we would know as a normal year. Well done. Not only to our prize winners this afternoon who have excelled under difficult circumstances, but congratulations to all Kingswood scholars who have needed to navigate very difficult circumstances, not only in the school environment, but often at home and broader family contexts. I wish all 2021 matriculants the very best over the next few weeks. Just as our school had to respond to the COVID challenges last year, so does the school, under the guidance of the College Council, not only respond, but plan for many different circumstances that may pose a risk to our school. Of particular importance in meeting these oversight and planning responsibilities is our governance subcommittee and its adoption of the King 4 governance principles. Other subcommittees of council include finance, strategic planning, academics, sport, estates and buildings, transformation, and community engagement. I thank all councillors and subcommittee members for their immense contribution and dedication in carrying out these responsibilities this year. There are times when additional measures are needed, and just such an opportunity has been the recent very sad and unfortunate My Only Story episodes. In response, an ad hoc subcommittee of council has been tasked to ensure that as a school we are doing all we can to ensure appropriate employment practices and the creation and continuation of a safe environment for all our staff and pupils, including, if any such weaknesses are found, that management be brought to management attention immediately. We take the safety and welfare of our staff and pupils very, very seriously. 2021 is indeed a year of change, and it is with sadness that we say farewell to our college head, Dr. Vasilio, her husband Budgie, and daughters Eva and Tricia. The Vasilio family have been part of the Kingswood family for 11 years. Colleen being on the staff and our college head for the last 3. And what a particularly groundbreaking last 3 years they have been. Dr. V is the first female to occupy our college head position and led our 125 celebrations filled with enthusiasm and boundless energy. Colleen has certainly lifted the floor, raised the bar, not only at Kingswood, but in the broader independent school environment. Her work on the development and implementation of the school strategic plan is considered to be the best that's ever been done by a school in South Africa. A number of candidates who we interviewed for her position reflected this. Her work in her transformation journey has been so meaningful that this process will continue with deep commitment from council and the school well after her departure. Colleen's reaction to the COVID pandemic last year was immediate, and the success of our online teaching program was a great success. But not only did Colleen manage this process, but as chair of the Kingswood Foundation, she immediately embarked on the Exemplar fundraising program, which, thanks to the support of old Kingswoodians and parents, made a significant contribution to our school's financial security. This was in a year when we didn't collect school boarding fees for a whole term. Her legacy will remain with us for far longer than her years of service at Kingswood. On behalf of Council, I thank you for your dedication and duty, Colleen, and commitment to our school, but also for your deep love of Kingswood. May your lantern shine bright in New Zealand as you rejoin your professional environment and start a new journey with new horizons. please come forward and accept a small gift of our deep appreciation for all you have contributed to Kingswood. And so a new dawn approaches in 2020 as we welcome Mr. Leon Crevier, his wife Jackie, and 3 young children to the Kingswood family. Mr. Crevier, as a UCT graduate, is currently head of St. Nicholas Diocesan School in Pietermaritzburg and is well known in independent school circles for his work that he does at ISASA, including heading up the Regional Transformation Subcommittee. A firm believer in the philosophy of continued learning, and apart from a number of his postgraduate qualifications, he's also busy completing his MBA. I have no doubt that the Kingswood family will extend a warm welcome to the Crevier family earlier next year. May they feel the warm Kingswood embrace. I thank Mrs. Tracy van Mullendorf for leading the school management team over the closing weeks of the 2021 academic year. In conclusion, I extend my warm congratulations this afternoon to the prize winners and hope all of you in attendance will share in the joy of these well-deserved achievements. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Strachan. May we please now stand as we sing the national anthem. This will be followed by a prayer from Rev. Tim. Please may we stand.
Please be seated. Let us pray together. Would you pray with me? Almighty God, thank you for the opportunities we have at Kingswood, for learning, sport and extramurals, for creating memories and building friendships. Our purpose of educating for life is in the classroom and beyond the classroom, and we are grateful that we have so many opportunities to grow in body, mind, and spirit. And so we give you thanks for the work, seen and unseen, by teachers, coaches, and support staff who enable learning and growing to happen, as well as family and friends who support us and guide us. This afternoon we celebrate outstanding achievements, and may the prize winners be filled with satisfaction for hard work and self-discipline, and yet offering these awards back to you, for your grace enables all things. And so we rejoice with those who rejoice, and we thank you for being the unseen guest who celebrates with us here this afternoon. And we pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
It is special to hear singing inside our chapel once again. Thank you so much. Anna Timmermans is going to perform a slow waltz on the alto saxophone, La Plus Golente, by Claude Debussy, who was one of the most influential composers of the early 19th and late 20th century. Oh.
That truly was an amazing piece. And now the heads of school, Wanda Madasa and Usivile Zweni, will address us.
Sarai Khumalo, a South African woman born in Zambia. She set herself a goal to reach the 7 highest summits on 7 continents around the world. And on May 16, 2019, she became the first Black African woman to summit Mount Everest at her 4th attempt. To Khumalo, Everest represented unfinished business, and she knew that giving up was not an option. Khumalo stated that she hopes that her journey will inspire people to reach their own individual Everests, and she was able to reach hers because God made a way. It was the right time, and it was His time. Molweni, goeiemiddag, and good afternoon to the Chair of Council, Mr. Strachen, Mr. and Mrs. Goldberg, Mr. Colin Sturck, members of Council, Dr. and Mr. Vasilio, Mr. Wright, Mrs. van Mollendorf, Mr. Huff, Kingswood staff, old Kingswoodians, invited guests, Kingswood parents, and lastly, to my fellow Kingswood pupils. When beginning to summit a mountain, it is impossible to see what the whole route will look like from the bottom, and we can only have a slight idea of what we may see when we get to the top, because as we climb, perspectives will change. But ultimately, there's a goal to be reached, and we will begin a journey towards it regardless of whether we know the challenges we'll be faced with. The journey of life can be seen as a sum of summits. Some goals are near, and others are far, just like some climbs are shorter than others, but ultimately, life is comprised of milestones. To the matrix, you are coming to the end of one of the biggest summits in your life this far, and you'll soon begin to prepare a new journey with new people beside you. Here come a few tips and tricks of climbing. As you take strides along your journey, remember to carry yourself with pride. Pride for where you are, pride for where you come from, and pride for where you're going. Things may become difficult along your journey, and at times it may be difficult to see the wonderful things you have achieved this far. But never forget how far along you've come and how far along you still have the strength to go. Be careful of becoming consumed by the task of climbing, and take the time to thank those that cheer you on and be inspired by those that you climb alongside. Take time to lift your head and take in the view from where you are at that moment. Let the new things that you learn about the world inspire you and teach you to become stronger and better climbers. Unless recalling lessons you have learned along the way, avoid looking down because that's not where you're going. When it feels as though there's nothing to hold on to and the rocks beneath your feet are unsteady, learn patience. Yes, this may sound abstract, but this is when you need to have the most faith that God has a plan for you, and you only need to be still. Be courageous. Helga Osman, a woman who went on her own journey up Kilimanjaro, said, "Don't be afraid of failure, because it is no more permanent than is success. It is good to try something that we think we cannot do, because we often find out that we actually can." Every step along every journey takes courage. You need to be brave enough to face challenges that scare you a little. When both of these women returned home, they were greeted by people that had been their cheerleaders along the way. It is important to acknowledge those who are your #1 fans, and in so doing, be theirs too. Some of the people who come to cheer you on may not always be familiar faces, but this is what is so beautiful and unique about our continent and the people. The people love wholeheartedly and celebrate each other and one another's achievements regardless of what type of relationship they may or may not have. As a Kingswood community, we are watchers of a beacon whose light must never die. And that means we should continue to make sure that each individual's light never dies in order to continue a legacy together. As my term as head girl comes to an end, I'd like to thank the pupils of the school for allowing me to grow in this position and for teaching me lessons I will hold dearly. Nifundise ubuntu. I am because you guys are. I encourage you to live this out in all of the corners of the school. It really does make a difference. To management and the staff, I am eternally grateful for your teachings and patience. To Usivile, Azola, Darius, and the 2021 prefect body, you have taught me what it means to work in a team with swiftly moving cogs, and for this I am grateful. Tina, Mama, Tata, I could have never asked for more supportive people to climb alongside. I'm grateful beyond words. As I reach the top of the summit, I know I can wave the Kingswood flag and plant it at my feet, recalling a journey well spent alongside the class of 2021. So today I encourage you to pause, take a break from climbing, smell the flowers, because become aware of your strengths and power, and use them to empower the people to the left and to the right of you. And never forget to have the courage enough to take a step forward towards your goals.
Joyce Meyer once said, "Patience is not simply the ability to wait, it's how we behave while we're waiting, because patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet." To the Chair of Council, Mr. Strachan, Mr. and Mrs. Goldberg, Mr. Colin Sturck, Chairman of the OK Club, members of Council, Dr. and Mr. Vasilio, Mr. Wright, Mrs. Van, Mr. Huff, Kingswood staff, all Kingswoodians, invited guests, Kingswood parents, and lastly, to my fellow Kingswoodians. Good afternoon. Goeiemiddag. Molweni kuni nonke. What is patience? Patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, problems, or suffering without becoming annoyed or anxious. Let me share with you a quick story about patience. In a beautiful village, there was a family of four, a husband, a wife, a son, and a daughter. They all moved to the city to start a business. With little savings and some financial help from his close friends, the husband opened a shop. On the first day of opening the shop, there were no customers. In the first week, there were no customers. Even after a month, there were no customers. During these difficult times, the family didn't lose hope. Every day, the man woke up early, his wife prepared food, he opened his shop early, and he closed his shop very late. They were having 1 meal per day, but they never gave up. After close to 2 months, they had their first customer. With quality service to the first customer, and through word of mouth, he started receiving more customers to his shop, and it was no looking back for him after this. After 20 years since he started his business has grown big and now has multiple branches across the city and the country. But still, every day the man wakes up early, and the lady now cooks for both her children and her husband 3 meals a day. They still open their shop very early and close very late. They never gave up on their dream. With patience, their dream came through, and they got to reap the sweet fruit they sowed. Excuse me. In our time, everyone expects to get things done instantly and fast. So having patience is one of the greatest qualities. Patience can help you think deeply about a problem and find solutions, because rash decisions often lead to one getting into more trouble. When you feel as though things are not going your way, or there's no progression in what you're doing, patience is the one thing that can help you believe that everything will be fine. So with these few points on patience, I would like to say patience plays a very important role in our lives. We should at least try to be patient in situations. Random or rapid aggression or reaction always makes the situation worse. With patience, you will always be able to believe more in yourself, and you'll make better decisions. People will also find it easy to speak to a patient person because they can listen and think before answering. Words spoken without thinking can ruin the conversation or situation. So with that said, patience can bring great changes to your life. Since 2017 in grade 8, Kingswood has been the home away from home for me. And it did take me a while to realize or to accept this. When I got to Kingswood, I didn't want to give the school a chance because I compared it to other schools and colleges. And it wasn't the place I wanted because it wasn't like all the other schools. But Kingswood is unique, and it has its own ways of doing things. And I can sure say it is the place I needed. I just needed to be patient and let the college grow in me. Kingswood plays a huge role in our lives. The school helps us to grow and develop to be better than we arrived. I arrived as a shy boy who would never say a word or even voice their opinion on any matter. And now I'm standing here in front of you all and delivering a speech. This goes to show how Kingswood has nurtured me to be the man I am today. I am a proud Kingswoodian. And to all the pupils and parents, new or old, who haven't found their pride for the college just yet, I encourage you to be like the family in the story and be patient, because everything needs time. You cannot expect a fruit to grow from the day you plant a seed. Wait for your fruit and be patient. With time, it will grow and definitely taste good. To Wanda, Azola, Darius, and the prefect body of 2021, thank you guys for your hard work, all the memories we have created, and thank you for being patient with me throughout the whole year. You guys' efforts will never go unnoticed. To the pupils, thank you for giving me this opportunity to lead you this year. It was really an honor and a privilege. To the staff, thank you for being the driving force of our education. Without you all, I wouldn't be where I am today. Your efforts are greatly appreciated. And in their absence, I'd like to say thank you to the Kingswood College support staff. Without your guys' contribution, the college wouldn't be where it's at the moment. Siyabulela silusapho lase Kingswood ngemizamo yenu nonke. Kuwe mama. Nkosi mama, ngakho konke uthi undenzele kona, nosoza kundenzela kona. Wandikhulisa ebukhwengweni wandenza le ndoda ndiyiyo namhlanje. Awuzange nangemini enye undenze ndizive ingathi awukho secaleni kwami. Anditsho ngokwaneleyo kodwa inkosi kakhulu kwaye imizamo yakho yonke ndiyayibona. Ndiyazingca ngawe mama. Ndiyakuthanda kakhulu mamchawa. To the class of 2021, we're growing up, and that means that we're not going to talk or see each other as much as we used to, and that's just reality. But in the case that the day comes that we never speak to each other again, I just want all of you to know that I'm glad I met every single one of you. We have all made memories that will stick with me forever. To Catherine, Luke, Apiwe, and Elias, I wish you guys all the best for the upcoming year. I believe in all of you guys, and I know that you will lead the school to greater heights. Continue being the watchers of a beacon whose light must never die. My reign as head boy has come to an end. The Major, out.
Thank you, Sibilia and Wanda. Singing together is an integral part of our college, and no Kingswood celebration would be complete without the college hymn. Please keep your masks on, but sing with all your might. Please stand.
Please be seated. Without the captain of the ship, during the second year of the COVID pandemic, our school may have floundered. However, Dr. Vasilio's decisive leadership, calm demeanor, and positive attitude has steered us through the rapids. Please, Dr. Vasilio, we now call upon you to address us.
Good afternoon, Kingswood family. I greet all my fellow Kingswoodians and I say welcome to our 2021 prize-giving ceremony. Blessed. If I had to describe my 11-year journey, firstly as a parent and then as a council member, lastly as college head of this great school, I would describe my time as blessed. Many people don't know that the Vasilio family journey began at Kingswood College 11 years ago when Tricia was attending another school in town. And Mrs. Jill Long invited her to visit. And at the end of the week, Tricia asked if Kingswood College could be her forever school. When I asked her why, she stated, "Mommy, this place makes my heart happy." The very same year, Tricia got a puppy, and when asked what she was going to call her dog, she said Kingswood, because everything I love is called Kingswood. And so the Vasilio love affair began with this incredible school. Our hearts are full, and as a family, we've experienced such flourishing and joy. Besides Tricia starting at Kingswood in 2011 and Eva in 2013, at the end of 2015, during the height of the Fees Must Fall campaign, a group of council members asked me to address them on transformation matters. In 2016, I was approached to consider the role of human and organizational development specialist, and I arrived eager to make a difference and to bring joy and cheerfulness to the space. Staff were requested to complete the VAI Strengths Questionnaire, some of you will recall that, and soon I began to realize the strengths the staff had, strengths such as commitment, dedication, hard work, and what they valued was gratitude, kindness, and teamwork. Job profiles and performance management contracts were drafted, and in 2017 my role changed to Head of Strategic Planning. The drafting and bedding of a strategic plan unfolded with the support of the Kingswood community, and people valued that it was a bottom-up approach. On the pupil front, we began to vigorously give attention to relationships between pupils, and hierarchical systems were looked at. Systemic bullying in boarding houses and in sporting circles were rooted out. We introduced a mentorship program that replaced a matric grade 8 power relationship, and the joy of being a big brother or big sister concept was introduced. At the end of 2018, Keith James, the English teacher at that time, asked me to apply for the role of college head. When I asked my family, my one daughter said the following, "Mom, if you're meant to get the role, you will get the role. Because, Mom, it's not people who will appoint you. God will open the door if it's God's will for your life and for the school." Those words were soon to be prophetic, and I was appointed college head at the beginning of 2019, and little did we know that 1 year of absolute celebration would be followed by many uncertainties and trials. It was God's will, I believe, to be placed in this role for a specific season, albeit for a short period. So I just need to reflect. 2019, what a year of magnificence. 60-odd speeches I had to present as we celebrated the school turning 125. In the most spectacular way, from a foundation weekend second to none to a K-Day weekend that's yet to be repeated. We pulled out all the stops and we celebrated what it means to be Kingswoodian. And we almost won our K-Day rugby match in 2019, just 1 point. I still remember Jack Mills walking across the field and putting his head on my shoulder. Absolute exhaustion and disappointment. And he broke all tradition and invited his female college head into the first team rugby change room. And so many moments like this began to unfold almost organically. What a spectacular day that was. I was blessed to meet so many Kingswood families and old Kingswoodians and celebrated the very essence of what it meant to be part of this family. I was in awe as people celebrated my role as the first female head. Yes, many gender biases that previously existed were challenged, but they were challenged from a point of acknowledgement, unlearning, and relearning. In that year, we renamed Steercom to Leadcom. We opened the most spectacular boarding house, Hobson House, and Mr. Garden was given the praise for his incredible work in those years. We enjoyed 125 days of doing things differently. Remember that, pupils. You experienced absolute joy that year, and the Kingswood spirit was ignited. We introduced our strategic plan with our vision being educating for life, and we vigorously promoted our co-educational Christian boarding focus. We brought formalized character education to Kingswood. We reinvented the academic day with a band and choir slot on a Tuesday. We celebrated our staff's monthly birthday teas, Father and Mother Day events, World Teachers' Day, family Christmas events, and unusual college head workshops. We combined OK and marketing events to increase our reach, and I had the privilege of working closely with Mr. and Ms. Hobson. Two incredible individuals, more passionate Kingswoodians you will not find. We also redesigned the library into an ICE space, and as a part of our ICE initiative, we revamped classes in the junior school. We gave birth to an AV center, and ICE became more than just an acronym. We formalized staff, pupil, and parent forums, and we made it known that parent involvement was valued, as it takes a village to raise a child. We reinvented the Kingswood website, and our social media footprint got a whole new look. We opened a grade 000 class and implemented this new grade, and we were delighted to watch the numbers grow. We reauthored 2 positions, the head of ICE and the head of ICT, and we shifted some staff into areas that fitted with their strength. With the support of Mr. Roger Dold, we launched the Leadership Institute, and various lead courses were presented, and some of you have even attended those virtually. We welcomed a new director of music to the college, and the music school has just grown from strength to strength. But at the end of 2019, after a magnificent year of celebration, tragedy struck. And we learned that one of our own, Uinene Mahuchan, had been raped and murdered, and this was an absolute shock, not only to the Kingswood family, but to the country. We partnered with the Uinene Foundation in the fight against GBV, and with this partnership, we bedded this year the inaugural Uinene Mahuchan Memorial Lecture. This will be held every year around Nene's birthday. With all that involved this tragedy, I realized why I'd been placed at this school. In November 2019, the pupils raised issues of racism and xenophobia at Kingswood College, and as a school we acknowledged the concerns raised and adamantly stated that we would not tolerate any form of racism, discrimination, bigotry, or any forms of unfair treatment at Kingswood College. We put out a public statement, and our transformation journey began in earnest. And we decided to ensure the changes made were long-term, sustainable, deep, and measurable. We still have a long way to go. We realized there were flaws in our disciplinary code, and the code had to be relooked and reworked. Moved to 2020. Council asked me as college head to assume the responsibility of the foundation office. Due to this, Kingswood welcomed Mr. Wright as the second head of the senior school to assist with the operational management of the school. And so my role so that I could, as college head, focus much more on strategic matters, marketing of the school, foundation matters, fundraising, development of the character curriculum, and management of the college in terms of senior management leadership. We appointed Mr. Mbinyana as head of the Bridging Year program, and we expanded this program to include 7 different BY programs. Cricket was given its rightful place at Kingswood, and a cricket academy was launched. My respect for Mr. Mbinyana is deep. We drafted a transformation dashboard, and we appointed a transformation officer. In line with our transformation goals, we ensured pupil representation on all our council subcommittees, and we welcomed prefects onto these committees, groundbreaking to say the least. We also bedded our employment equity plan, began to recruit black staff with intention, and we have a long way to go in this regard. We looked at our retention of staff of color, and we opened up channels to ensure community engagement became embedded in our curriculum. We drafted our Kingswood and Leboni Centre Memorandum of Understanding, and I'm pleased to say that has just recently been signed. I must admit, I thought 2020, as I coined it, if you remember, was going to be the year of plenty. Little did I realize it was plenty of COVID. And as I really thought that year I was going to get my shoulder into things and begin implementing even more new exciting aspects. What we thought would be a 4-week shutdown turned into an entire year of navigating COVID, lockdown, online schooling, and the economic crisis. And this 4-week period then turned into our COVID pandemic. I do need to applaud the pupils, the parents, the staff for their willingness to adapt and adjust. And Kingswood became known for producing the most exemplary online product. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have to pause at this point and specifically applaud Mrs. Van Mollendorf, for her work in this regard was groundbreaking. And Mrs. Van Mollendorf, you are the strongest woman I have ever known. We then had to get our school approved by the Department of Health and COVID compliant, and so in June of 2020, there were other aspects we also started dealing with. As you will remember, there were aspects surrounding racism that unfolded. After the killing of George Floyd and Black Americans, we knew we were busy with our transformation process, and we were glad that we were 6 months into it, but we had to constantly give it attention. An Instagram page called Racism in Makanda had many individuals airing their unhappiness, but we knew as a school we had begun the work and we were chipping away, and we would continue to chip at it. We acknowledged pupils' lived experience. We arranged counseling. We encouraged the pupils to set up a transformation microsite. Constant work in this area was needed and is still needed. We economically felt the strain as no staff increases were given that year and parents were not charged boarding fees while their children weren't being taught online. We had to think out of the box and we had to continue to ensure that our product was exemplary, family-focused and value-driven. We did just that, and the result was happy Kingswood families. Very tired teachers, but they took up their space in the new way of being able to help pupils. And the pupils and the staff are to be applauded for the way in which they adjusted. Despite the difficult year, we had a resounding, exemplary set of matric results. And seeing the school rise to academic heights, our teachers are to be applauded. We obtained funding through the support of the Old Kingswoodian Club under the umbrella of the Exemplar Fund to ensure our financial sustainability was upheld during the pandemic. If it was not for those contributions, the sustainability of the college would have been questioned. And I cannot thank these individuals enough for financially ensuring the survival of our school. Council was so supportive through this process. The end of 2020 was for me probably the most difficult time at the college. God had our school in the palm of his hand, and courageous individuals were willing to disclose, walk the road, and support so that we could put mechanisms in place to bring our school through to the end of the year, with Kingswood College remaining unaffected. At times I felt overwhelmed during deep, difficult moments, but I know that these situations are always experienced more intensely when one is at the center of the furnace. 2021, we hoped to start the year fresh, and we knew that COVID was still rampant, and we were delighted that a sense of normality returned. And we were able to enjoy our matric farewell, we were able to play sports matches, you had the opportunity to play your matches against DSG and St Andrews. We had a record intake of new pupils. I had the privilege of being able to dabble in the foundation work, re-looking at the Legends Fund and the Scholarships and Bursary Fund, and we began narrowing the gap between our support and academic staff by starting our Bless, Share and Care initiative. 2021 also brought about the opening of our girls' BY boarding house in Napier Street, and the BY program was renamed the Musambi Bridging Year Program, previously named the BY program, and we rebranded it. Along with many of our transformation initiatives, we re-looked at gender-neutral bathrooms, girls' uniform, we introduced pants as a choice for girls, we conducted a disability audit, which resulted in a ramp being built outside the Williamson building. Another highlight this year was witnessing the renaming of Burton Street to Reverend Dr. Simon Kabule Avenue. Again, the positives of this significant moment greatly outweigh the lack of understanding expressed by some. And then, if our pandemic and online learning was not enough to deal with, our city was brought to a standstill by service delivery protests. And we understand and supported the need to voice our disapproval of the negligence of our municipality. Pupils and Kingswood families handled this situation with such respect and understanding as we headed back online for 2 to 3 days. Our kitchen staff and members of staff went beyond their call of duty to ensure that everyone was taken care of. The third wave led to a speedy rollout of a vaccine program, and I'm in awe of Sister Juncan and her team as she ensured every staff member who requested to be vaccinated could be vaccinated. I love the quote which states, "The smallest act of kindness can save lives." Our pupils were then unable to return after half term in July, and they remained online and unfortunately had to do their assessments online. At the start of the examination period, Cry the Beloved Country got new meaning as we watched scenes unfold in KZN and Gauteng. But again, our pupils dug deep and focused and completed the task at hand. We can only make a difference in this country if we train up ethical leaders. This is our role as a school. We can be the difference this country needs. And if this was not enough, we headed back to school at the start of this term and we had to navigate a COVID outbreak. Thank you to the pupils, parents and staff for your understanding and support. We dealt with it and we've successfully moved through the outbreak. So let me pause for a moment and share with you what I've enjoyed most about my time at Kingswood College. Working with exceptional administrative and support staff. Special mention to Elmarie Retief and my current PA, Cherilise Jewell. I've so enjoyed watching pupils and staff flourish, witnessing the joy the school brings to new families, ensuring pupils and staff take care of their well-being, as I'm constantly remind them of their SMS PE. And I want to say to you, remember the balance. You know my favorite movie is Karate Kid, where Mr. Miyagi says, if balance is good, everything is good. If balance is bad, you can pack up and go home. I've so enjoyed watching teachers and pupils who are part of the Kingswood family not only swing their lantern, but ensure their lantern has light. This has really been a privilege to witness. I've thoroughly enjoyed working with the leadership team that I think is the best in the country. You're an incredible team. Thank you for your friendship. To parents, my parents, to the Kingswood community, I felt your support as you witnessed new aspects being introduced. I've so loved getting to know the parents of the pupils. To the old Kingswoodians, the many, many emails I received when my resignation was made public made me realize that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. To the staff, you are amazing individuals. And remember, you don't work for Kingswood, you work at Kingswood. Remember, you work for your families and for God to fulfill your purpose. And if you keep the balance, you will flourish. I wish one day you could see yourself through my eyes. But I do leave you with this advice. Notice what you wish to get, because you get what you notice. So notice what you want to get. Council, thank you for allowing me the space to reinvent, flourish, and delight in every aspect of the school. Please do continue to move the school forward, as this is not a time to stagnate. And then to my pupils. Dr. V will never forget the many moments and the privilege of teaching every single pupil in the school. I don't think another head in the country has that privilege. Kingswood pupils are unique. You are kind, respectful, you show manners, you're down to earth, you show gratitude, you dig deep, you punch above your weight, and you're such team players. I noticed this about you, and because I noticed this, you gave me your support. You were honest with me and authentic, and you sent me many WhatsApps and emails. Keep talking to your new college head. Your voice is valued. I so respect your ability to raise issues of concern, and I so valued your role in bringing an end to behavior at the school that was unacceptable. All I ask is that you engage respectfully. Parents, you've got incredible children. They're an extension of your home, and the behavior they display at Kingswood is an extension of the values you have taught them. But children are in the years of growing, learning, unlearning, and relearning. So walk this journey with us and allow your children to unfold and flourish. But the basics of respect, manners, and compassion should never be compromised. Pupils ask questions, be critical thinkers, engage in courageous conversation, but always try to see the best in others and listen before you speak. Never underestimate the value of your emotional intelligence. It's worth so much more than your aptitude. These last 2 years have been so difficult for you, and we're in awe how you've adjusted and adapted. But I need to tell you, COVID's not going anywhere. And so the only thing you've got control over is your attitude. So make sure you adjust your attitude to adjust to the circumstances. I do wish to commend my head prefects. They were exemplary leaders, and if their attitude is anything to go by, our future as a country looks bright. Looking back at my times at Kingswood, I know I was placed here for a season. I wanted to lead the school by ensuring Christ was the center of our every decision, and that I upheld and lived out the values I hold dear. And I thank God for holding Kingswood in the palm of his hands. I was so aware of God's grace and mercy many times during these 3 years. Despite the loss, the pandemic, the unsettledness, God had us and was directing us. And I thank Rev. Tim for his guidance in this regard. Never compromise on the core values of the school. Our Christian Methodist ethos is the cornerstone of our school. I know looking back, the 3 years were filled with joy, but they were also difficult years. I think I was too progressive for some, and maybe my entry into the college was too soon. At times I moved too quickly for some, but I do believe it was necessary. At times the fact that I was viewed as a female leader, and not just a leader, was evident. I at times felt despondent by the way in which some individuals went about communicating or not communicating their unhappiness. The polarized opposites, the liberal versus the conservative, those in favor of change, those not, those who wanted to see 21st century education flourish, and those who felt it better for a child to be seen and not heard, those who felt children should engage in courageous conversations, to those who felt they had the right to demand how schools should be run. So many polarized opposites, those who wanted to build up, those who wanted to tear down, those who were task-orientated and those who were pupil-orientated. These opposites made the work so difficult, but so rewarding. All I knew is I had to be transparent, I had to be authentic and sincere, and my communication was key. Thank you for reading my many messages. I recall the many moments watching the president speaking and being aware that I had to get a message out to the community as soon as possible so that everyone would know the direction we were taking. I had to make many calculated, quick decisions, but I'm grateful to the team who surrounded me in these moments. I don't regret for a moment what the college has been through and had to navigate since 2019. We know that coal only turns to diamond under extreme pressure. So I end this prize-giving speech with how I started at the beginning of 2019 by reminding you, this is the greatest school. It's everything you ever want, it's everything you ever need, and it's here right in front of you. This is where you want to be. I don't quite understand why God has opened this door for me and my family, as this is where I want to be, but I leave this place feeling blessed. I feel like Peter when Jesus called him out the boat, and I know I have to step out of the boat to experience the miracle. The school is not a building, it's the people, and the school will go from strength to strength. After 127 years, the school is solid. I have to pause and thank my family. Thank you, Baji, as some of you coined him, the First Lady. And thank you to Tricia and Eva for your unwavering support. And so I leave Kingswood the same way I started, with God opening another door for the Vasilio family, and we're heading out on an adventure to New Zealand. Please remember, you are enough, you are valued, and be blessed. Care is the most beautiful word which makes life richer. If somebody tells you take care, that means you will live in their heart forever. Take care until we meet again. Thank you.
Is it on? Okay. Thank you for that beautiful address, Dr. V. You and your constant reminders about our SMS PE will be missed. In spoken word, the personal is political. And in light of the current awareness of gender-based violence, Zoe has written this poem to highlight and communicate with us what it currently feels like to be a woman in our country.
When the rugby boy asked me out on a sushi date using words like, "You are not like other girls," red flags instantly began to replace him as my head moved left to right, encapsulating the no in my heart. Yet I can't help but wonder what would have happened had I gone on that date. When he tells me he likes a girl who can eat, I wonder when eating became a personality trait. I wonder if he would still like me if he no longer liked my body. I wonder if I would become another statistic as I get caught in the crossfire of this country, where the streets buffet on young girls' bodies and the elders of the community gag on the flesh of women. I wonder why boys are taught manhood with the fist, fed words like skank and harlot that they spit out at their earliest convenience like a punchline. But what's in that saliva other than rape culture? I am tired of boys turning our trauma into their victory. We have not forgotten Nene, and if this poem is the only thing that survives me, tell them we will not be silenced. I did not come from anything tamed nor willing, but flowing in me is a river of barbed wire blood from a woman who will not take instruction manuals from those who benefit from the system. I wonder when we'll stop asking questions like, I wonder when we'll stop saying things like, we have built. I wonder when we will stop saying things like, a system has failed us, but acknowledge that we have built our lives on a system built by men for men. We will not be silenced.
That was a powerful performance. Thank you so much for that, Zoe. The focus of the Kingswood Prizegiving is a celebration of academic endeavor and service to the college and wider community. We would like to congratulate those who have gone above and beyond in these uncertain times. We now call upon Mr. Jonathan Goldberg, who will present the grade 8 to 10 prizes.
Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me privilege to call up the prize winner recipients, and we're going to start with the grade 8s. The following have received the GBS Mutual Bank Diligence Prize: Luke Williams, Kayla Guest, and Grace Huff. The recipients of the GBS Mutual Bank Diligence Prize and the Proficiency Prize go to Bronte Agnew. The A. Bailey Prize for Proficiency in English and Afrikaans go to Matthew Paxton. The French Prize goes to Zintle Modo. The Isi Klosa Prize to Hobongwana. And the Subject Music Prize to Amy Newcomb. Second on year and subject prizes for art and drama go to Bronwyn Wilson. And first on year with subject prizes in mathematics, economic and management sciences, Afrikaans, history, natural sciences, geography, and English go to Angus Brown. Well done. We move on to the grade 9 prizes. The GBS Mutual Bank Diligence Prize goes to Amy Wilson. And to Julia Huff. The GBS Mutual Bank Diligence Prize, the A. Bailey Prize for Proficiency in English and isiXhosa, and the Proficiency Prize go to Kwakanya Mbinyana. And the prizes for history and geography go to Tyona Cannon. The Life Orientation Prize to Georgia May Botha. The following subject prizes for mathematics, drama, subject music, economic and management sciences all go to Brent Heathcote. And the art prize goes to Rosalie Reed. Second on year and the English prize go to Emila Jacob. First on year and subject prizes in Afrikaans, natural sciences, and life orientation go to Jason Connon. The GBS we are moving on to grade 10. The GBS Mutual Bank Diligence Prize goes to the following recipients: Kaylee Mildenhall, to Katie Wales, and to Jamie Lacey. An extension. The A. Bailey Prize with proficiency in English and Afrikaans go to Araya Bottiga. The Proficiency Prize goes to Kaylee Smith. The Afrikaans Prize to Taylor Williamson. And the French Prize to Sabeo Relabala. The The Isiklosa Prize to Lunga Nana. The prize for mathematical literacy to Mary Bretska. The Master Mathematics Progress Prize to Aidan Fletcher. The prize for Computer Application Technology and Economics to Amazing Veruiwa. The Geography Prize to Kirsten Armstrong. Prizes in Accounting, Mathematics and English, Azolile Mbanga. The History Prize to Lauren Maddox. And the Prize for Business Studies to Leah Ewing. Prize for Subject Music to Josh Fertner. The Drama Prize to Elizabeth Bain. The Art Prize to Laura Sheard. And the Information Technology Prize to Alexander Holder. Second on year and subject prizes for life science and physical sciences, Taryn Hurley. And the grade 10 first on year with prizes in life orientation and engineering, graphics and design, Tricia Vasilio.
At the beginning of 2020, the clarinet and saxophone ensembles amalgamated to form the Saxonettes. They will be performing Funnily Saxophone by Nino S. Gerasimus. Thank you, Saxonettes. We will now continue with the awarding of prizes.
Grade 11 prizes. A GBS Mutual Bank Diligence Prize to Marion Keane. To Lara Pinheiro Figueira. And to Dintley Marcy. A proficiency prize to Adam Young. The A. Bailey Prize for Proficiency in English and Afrikaans to Dylan Gary. Computer Applications Technology Prize to Leah Jonas. And the French Prize to Layel Santos. And the Economics Prize to Apiwe Muvanelwa. And the Isikoza Prize goes to Yolo Tunksani. The Subject Music as well as the Business Studies Prize to Priyanka Hodjavan. Both the Accounting and Physical Science prizes go to Luke Kelly. Mathematical Literacy Prize to Malenga Mutali. A Life Orientation Prize to Ben Morrison. Ben. And the Life Sciences Prize to Carla Bristow. Second on year, as well as the History, English, Information Technology prizes, and the Derry Collett Cup for Sciences all go to Taryn Brown. Okay, Taryn. First on year, the Afrikaans, Mathematics, Drama, Geography, Engineering, Graphics and Design, as well as the Ronald Hepburn Prize for Arts, all to Catherine Williamson. Grade 12 prizes. GBS Mutual Bank Diligence Prize to Anka Miller. Zoe Fraser. and Iris Voss. A GBS Mutual Bank Diligence Prize, as well as the Latimer Art Trophy for the best artwork of the year, goes to Tegan Reppens. The A. Bailey Prize for Proficiency in English and isiXhosa goes to Kani Masawa. Proficiency Prize to Wanda Madasa. The OK Gauteng Branch Prize for Computer Applications Technology goes to Azola Poswa. Drama Prize to Sia Bazana. The Ray Tar Prize for isiXhosa, Neliswa Ntintili. German Prize, Iskanel. The J.H. Buchman Prize for Geography, Rachel Knott. The Art Prize, the MGE Beauvoir Prize for French, as well as the Robert Godlington Prize for Arts, goes to Rebecca Crooks. Rebecca Crooks. The Janet Cole Prize for Life Sciences, the Afrikaans Prize, Life Orientation, English, the Thomas Hughes Prize for English Composition, as well as the Robert Godlington Prize for Sciences, goes to Jenna Rose Smith. Second on year, as well as the Cedric Hiscock Prize for Accounting, the Information Technology Prize, as well as the Dallas Milton Prize for Physical Science, Daniel Reed. Second on year, the J. DeVette Stein Prize for Business Studies, English Prize, Economics Prize, Mathematical Literacy Prize, as well as the Donald Soul Prize for History goes to Colby Cocroft. First on year, as well as the Menno Maani's Memorial Award for Engineering, Graphics and Design, Information Technology Prize, the A.T. Williamson Prize for Mathematics, and the Morris Tim Prize for Maths and Science go to Anna Timmermans. We get to the special prizes. The Gareth Skye Memorial Prize for the most promising woodwind pupil goes to Enitami Khosiman. The Murray Evans Memorial Award for commitment to and talent for music and a high profile in sport goes to Jill Cheng. The drummer's plate for the best percussionist in the band goes to Catherine Williamson. The Cadle Cup for the best brass player in the band goes to Kokanya Mbinyana. The Esme Godlinton Memorial Award for the most outstanding musical achievement goes to Anna Timmermans. The Ross Collett Service Trophy for service to Kingswood and the wider community goes to Kaylee Smith. The Noel Brunton Memorial Award that goes to a grade 10 girl who has shown diligence, loyalty, endeavour and leadership, and this goes to Trisha Vasilio. The Michael Brown Memorial Award, which goes to a grade 10 boy who has shown endeavour, participation and leadership, and this goes to Azolele Mbanga. The Darrell Walter Dugmore Trophy, which goes to a grade 11 pupil for honesty, integrity and compassion, and this goes to Carla Bristow. The Louise Patterell Prize for a grade 11 pupil who for perseverance, cultural contribution and diligence, and this goes to Laura Pinheiro Figueira. The Craig Bishop Memorial Award for service to others, as well as the Roger Dold Lee Trophy for a grade 12 girl who has shown supportive leadership, both go to Azola Poswa. The Roger Dold Lee Trophy for grade 12 prefect for exemplary leadership, Latita Stumper. Roger Dold Lee Trophy for supportive leadership to Darius Govender, as well as the A.W. Judge Prize for good fellowship as voted by the grade 12 peers, as well as the Melville Dole Prize for boys all-round contribution, Darius Govender. The Janine van Rensburg Memorial Award for a grade 12 girl for academic, sporting and religious commitment, as well as the Extian Prize for girls' all-round contribution, the Jill Minnar Prize for a grade 12 girl for good fellowship as voted by her peers, and the 1978 Matric Boys Award for the head girl go to Wanda Madasa. The Knight Memorial Award for the head boy, Usiveli Zwene. The prize giving culminates to this award.
We now call upon the deputy heads of the school of 2021 to present Mr. Goldberg with a token of our appreciation for presenting the prizes.
People walk into your life, stay for a while, and walk out of it again. Some stay for decades, some only a few years, some less than a month, some mere seconds. But as they go, they leave footprints across the plane of your being. They leave their signature, stamped into the pathways of your mind, carved into trees, framed by a heart, finger-painted on rocks with ruddy clay, engraved in cave walls, or spelled out in gashes across vast expanses of otherwise unblemished greenery. They shape you, in ways so subtle you barely notice, like the brushing of lips over a lipstick, one casual use of a rounded eraser, a single wave lapping at the shore. And the unshaped individual that was you at birth gets bumped and brushed and bruised and molded into the person you are today. The blankness that is true uniqueness gets filled with vibrant splashes and bubbles of bubbling life. Everything you are is something someone else has left behind. We speak the way our friends speak, borrowing words from their mouths and shaping them in our own until they no longer feel out of place, but fit perfectly like a well-worn-in pair of shoes. We puppet their mannerisms, blending our manners together more and more in an effort to become one perfectly synchronized human being, and then we fight, or drift apart, and they leave. But the bottom left corner of our existence will forever be colored their shade of green. A thick German accent coats my memory of certain Bible verses, slapping all the W's into V's, a crayoned line of deep purple in my first Sunday school teacher's voice. A chance comment finely pens a warning in blue each time I go to dry my hair while wearing contact lenses. And my granny lies like a beautifully etched butterfly just to the right of my heart. This cacophony of color becomes the symphony of me, an intricate compilation by all those I have ever met, and throughout it, there are swirls and murals and tapestries, the more elaborate ones created by dear friends, who I still hold dear, who have moved on, or who have become people I no longer wish to know. The sweeping silver spirals of unicorn horns will forever have a slight aftertaste of betrayal, and some songs will forever be tainted by the inky black poison of that woman's voice, criticizing like a jagged blade and sprinkled with the sour glitter of nervous anticipation. But their bitter tang makes them no less part of me. We are all jigsaw puzzles of gestures and smiles and advice, and as we go through life, we offer pieces of ourselves to everyone we meet. Gracefully, subtly, forcefully, without knowing it, we add scraps, offcuts of our personality to others' collages. We finger paint patterns on our mother's cheeks, add a dash of pink to a stranger's day, stitch a patchwork sleeve for the person we thought barely noticed us. And, person by person, a thread weaves its way around the world, connecting all of humanity in a giant ball of string.
That was truly mind-blowing. Thank you so much for that, Taryn. It really shows us how poetry connects us all as human beings. We would now like to invite Mr. Strachen back onto the stage to present the Murehead Founders Friend Award.
Wow, I'd actually memorized all of that without any notes. I couldn't get anywhere without my notes. It's my great privilege, on behalf of Council, to make this esteemed award, the Murehead Founders Friend Award for 2021, to Jonathan Goldberg. A bit of history of this award is that following a memorandum in October 2003 by the chair of the Naming Facilities Committee of the Kingswood College Council, then was Rev Kirkby, the College Council resolved to implement an award entitled the Murehead Founders Friend Award. This award is named after William Codgebrook Murehead on that famous Sunday afternoon walk up Signal Hill when the question was asked, why can't we have a school for boys along the same lines as the Wesleyan High School for girls? This lit the fire, or the lantern, of thought that brought Kingswood into being and therefore goes to the very heart of the matter from which the school has progressed. The criteria of this award is such: the above paragraph sets the standard and the spirit for the nomination of the candidate. His or her contribution should be such that the college has benefited enormously and progressed from the gift, or gifts, of generous financial help or a labour of love for the cause of the Kingswood family, and who therefore, in the eyes of the Council, deserves recognition. Excuse me. The nomination of Jonathan Goldberg, or Johnny as it's known to many of his friends and colleagues, arrived in Kingswood in 1977 and matriculated in 1979. At this time, he represented the Kingswood first rugby team and was awarded colours for rugby. He made a very important part of the front row. I just want to digress at this point and to recognise this class of 1979. Take note, class of 2021. Members of this class include John O'Miller, Ross Purden, both past members of the OK Club, as is Johnny, Colin Stirk, the current president of the OK Club, and Mrs. Di Hornby, past chair of council. After school, Johnny studied at was then the University of Port Elizabeth and earned a BCom LLB degree, completing a B.Ed and followed by a 2-year academic journey at the University of Stellenbosch. We earned an honours degree in business administration, cum laude, followed by a master's degree in business administration, cum laude. And I can tell you, Johnny wasn't part of the Matric A class in his year. After graduation from Stellies in 1989, armed with a comprehensive legal and business education, this was the launch pad for Johnny into the big, wide world of business and entrepreneurship. In this regard, Johnny's curriculum vitae is impressive, and I'll summarise very briefly. Over the past 20 years, he has been at the forefront of the changing labour law landscape in South Africa, leading the negotiations at plant, industry and NEDLAC levels. He assists clients to navigate the dynamic regulatory environment. Johnny holds several key roles, being a business representative, an employment conditions commissioner, a chief operating officer of the Confederation of Associations in the private employment sector, known as CAPES, a member of the Employment Services Board, and as a BUSA representative at NEDLAC, Business Unity South Africa. Jonathan continues to be actively involved in various industries, leading and advising on negotiations in numerous sectors of the economy. He is the chairperson of 2 large South African organizations, one of which is listed on the JSE. He's a sought-after advisor, speaker, and lecturer. Johnny has conducted thousands of strategic interventions and presentations, sharing his expertise and insight. Whilst Johnny was about to launch his business career, the college identified his potential as a valued member of council, and in 2003, the then chair of council, Evan Dold, invited Johnny to make himself available, and he was then elected as the OK Club representative on council and continues in this role today. No sooner had Johnny joined council, he made his mark by being a catalyst and founding member of the Legends Fund. The story behind the creation of this initiative will no doubt be recorded in the annals of history when the next edition of Still Upon a Frontier is written. To this day, the Legends Fund continues, and through the contributions of many Legends Fund donors on a monthly basis, allows a large number of people, via small contributions, to make a huge contribution to the college. In 2019, notwithstanding the enormous contribution to the council, especially in the strategic and human resources fields, and that his business commitments were absorbing more and more of his time, Johnny found time to accept the role of president of the OK Club until 2013. This position is particularly onerous in that the college trustee places the president to the governance of the college. Johnny is married to Linda, and they have 2 children, Ryan and Jonathan. Both came to Kingswood. It was not surprising that when Johnny came onto council and was elected member of the college executive committee, he made his mark immediately. To illustrate this, notwithstanding being recently elected to council, Johnny, with his deep understanding of employment law issues, began guiding the college thinking in respect of benchmarking, remuneration and benefits, the implementation of a workable performance management system, the principles in respect of employment equity and skills training. During his tenure as a council member, he chaired the Human Resources Subcommittee of Council, and through this subcommittee, one saw probably Johnny's greatest legacy to the college, with his skill and foresight and participation in several selection committees.
It took me 48 years, I worked out, to get to the stage at Prizegiving. Because for 10 years, Warwick's numbers are wrong. I think I enrolled at Kingswood in 1972. I didn't make the stage, either in junior school Prizegiving or senior school Prizegiving. And I did have a few words in my pocket here in respect of response, but for my eloquent head boy and head girl and other speech people who presented speeches, I'm going to teach you a lesson. You should rip up your speech and talk from the heart. But I must tell you, I was in awe with the speeches today, specifically for me, from the head girl and head boy. I spent 10 years of my life. I'm more Methodist than any other religion, I keep on saying, because I spent a lot of hours here. We learn the values of patience. I'm not so sure we actually, and tolerance, I'm not so sure we always practice that. So I suppose if I had my time back at Kingswood, the 10 years, I would definitely not take away the girls. Definitely not. The girls were a great addition and a great contribution. But on that lighter note, the fact that we have still prejudice in respect of male and female is just outrageous for me, because we shouldn't even have to deal with that as a head of the school. And hopefully, Colleen, you'll be followed by many heads of the school. And actually, the achievements of the school in the senior school are to a large extent by some great female executives that you do have. We know that. We were on council and we saw where academics were, and we've seen what academics has done in the last couple of years under leadership of brilliant people. But coming back to my time at Kingswood, if I had one thing over again, I'd be more kind. Because we as schools, we in society face bullying, we face racism, we face prejudice. And social media has not helped, because you don't confront your person anymore. You can say what you want and you cause hurt for that particular person, but there's no consequence for you. So yes, I was bullied at Kingswood, and I bullied in turn. I've got no doubt about that and no question about that. And that's an admission I'd make to you to learn, to all of you, not only the matrics who are going to go out into the worldwide community, business, extra studies and communities, but for all of you who's still going to spend your time at Kingswood. Be kind to the Elon Musk, the future Elon Musk. Not because Elon can do something for you, because being kind to the child, to the colleague who's not as strong as you, who's not in the same place as you, who doesn't come from the same background and family that you come from, makes an impression on that particular child for life. It makes a difference in that time for that person's child for life. So if I had my time at Kingswood again, I'd be less arrogant. And we'd lived in an era in those particular days where if you played first team rugby, it meant so much. Today it absolutely means nothing whether you played first team rugby. For me, as a rugby fanatic, the people who can play the musical instruments that you played means a lot more than to me playing first team or Springbok rugby. That's a real skill. And that's coming from an avid rugby player. So what I'm asking you to do is to go out and be kind. Be kind to the people that are not as strong as you. Don't be unkind on social media. And as true human beings, it's a one gift you can have. And that's what COVID's taught us. Many people have suffered, executives, people have lost their jobs, people have suffered mental illness and depression during this period. And what we can is be kind to other people. But I did get this award, and I'm humbled by it, and I'm privileged, and I do thank you. But there are many other people out there who deserve this award more than I do, or equally as I do, and I acknowledge that. But the one person who deserves acknowledgement in this award for the time that I've spent at Kingswood is my wife, Linda. And unlike the poem, she is different to the other girls. And I don't take her out because she eats. I take her out because she's truly supportive of the stuff I did. I'd come back from working a week in Joburg, landing in East London on a Friday evening, getting in my car on a Saturday morning many times at 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning, and come to Kingswood with my board pack prepared. And where did I stop being a member of EXCO? When I couldn't do the preparation work and put the time and effort into because other business commitments took me away. And that's what you've got to know. So if you're going to fill a position, you've got to do the work. I've served in this council under fantastic people. My classmate Di, Warwick, and with Colin, my other classmate. And we were in the 10C class because we thought the 10C class was the 10 clever class. We didn't worry about anything else. But ladies and gentlemen, my message to you, I'm truly honored for that award. It's unbelievable to get this award at Kingswood. But it's not about the awards, it's about what difference we can make. I was born a Kingswoodian. And to the Kingswood community out there, you don't have to have attended Kingswood College at all. But the fact that you've sent your kids here, you're related to Kingswood, is wonderful. And this school, as Colleen said, is different. When you drive through those gates, it's got something that many places have not got on this place of earth. It is special. It might not be out there like other schools and be as arrogant as other schools, but it's got a special heart and soul and vein that runs through it. And for that, I'm proud. I was born a Kingswoodian. My father enrolled me as I was born. It's true. And I'll die a Kingswoodian, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for the honor and privilege. Thank you.
This brings us to the end of the prize giving ceremony. A special thank you to the performers and the musicians, and a final congratulations to all the prize winners. Thank you.
We would like to end on the words of one of our new favorite spoken word poets and suggest that, person by person, we weave a thread all the way around the world, connecting all of humanity, including the land of the Kiwi, in a giant ball of string. Please rise to sing the college hymn. Please stay standing as the staff and councillors leave. Please note that parents and staff are invited for tea on Cops Lawn. Thank you for everyone for attending.
Thank you.